killing me. Shit.
All right, go ahead.
Tell me when you're ready.
All right, go ahead.
Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome. I am so excited to be here tonight with Trey, and I want you guys to feel comfortable, man. You can sit back and relax, and we're going to have a little conversation here.
I love it. Nancy Yearout joining the show.
Yeah.
Superior Nation.
Superior Nation. I love it.
Superior Nation.
I love it. That's
Nancy
awesome.
Yearout joining the show. This is a special treat for you guys. She is the author of the book, Wake Up, The Universe is Speaking to You. Fellow podcaster, High Road to Humanity podcast. Nancy, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. You're one of my favorite people to hang out with and just chit chat with.
Oh, you're too nice. Yeah. Wake up. What inspired this book? Because it's so like point blank. Wake up. The universe is speaking to you.
It's time. That. You know what happened? I was in the real estate business and I was a single mom and I needed to create business for myself. And so I learned how to draw things to myself. Mm-hmm. And what I learned was whatever I put my energy into is what the universe gave me. And I started to pay attention to what the universe was showing me. And I started to realize that I could actually draw things to myself. I could change my life. And that's where Wake Up comes from. People need to pay attention, wake up. Pay attention to the signs that the universe is showing you, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
If you didn't get the large lettering and the
you're so funny. Yeah. Well,
up.
Well, yeah. What do you think? What'd you think of the book, Trey?
Like I said earlier, like I think that this is such a great book for people that are just beginning to awaken. I think that it gives a practical guide for those that want to, like, you have an amazing remedy for clearing your energy channels. I think that's a great thing. I love salt baths. I mean, I'll do a salt bath and clear some energy up. Mm-hmm. But I mean, not just with energy, but like with different suggestions in here as well. Mm-hmm. I just like how I love short chapters. I think that's great. It's easy to read. You know, it talks about meditation, which is a very important habit in my life. Right. Yeah. It talks about your story as well and how you got into real estate and you changed your life around.
I did. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and like I said, when you start to work with the energy and start to work with the universe and start to meditate, like you're talking about, and you start to pay attention, it makes a big difference and it does change your life. And then you have faith, which I do a chapter in my book about faith, because that's a huge part of this. You know, you have to have faith. I talk about affirmations and, you know, positive affirmations, people should say, visualizations, things like that. But you have to have faith. And so that's a big part of it. So that's why I told my story, because I wanted people to know that it was real.
Oh, it's definitely, I mean, you can definitely tell from the book, you know, definitely you have faith. But it's not hard. I mean, it's not hard. It is hard sometimes.
It is hard.
Because there's like no physical evidence, right? And sometimes you don't see the changes that are happening because you're so close to it. Mm-hmm. You know, until you step back or you have somebody else that isn't on the same path or the same journey. They look at you and they're like, man, you're a totally different person. Like, I don't even recognize you anymore. And that's
right. And you have new friends. Right. And when that happens, your friends, some people fall away and then you get new friends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because you're different, like you're talking about, it changes you. I learned that once you have faith, and it's really hard to do, I have a little statue, I talk about it in the book, that a friend of mine gave me that says faith works. And she gave it to me and she said, and I put it on my windowsill in my kitchen. I do the dishes and I'd look at that and it'd say faith works. And I'm like, and I hadn't fed it, you know, I was like, yeah, whatever. But when you actually do it, and have faith and believe, and it happens, then it's like, wow, then you're a total believer. And then it's easy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think it's like
Hmm.
that I think the best feeling in the world is having that realization, that you're making the change, that you've brought something forth from your unconscious, or not unconscious, from, like, like the law of attraction, right? Like if you're bringing things
Hmm.
into your reality, if you're bringing things into the physical plane, like once you have that first aha, it's like it catches
Right.
fire, and now
Right.
you have this knowing that you can change your reality,
Right.
right? I think that more people need to be waking up, like your title says, and I think this is a great starter book for that, and I can't wait for the second book.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now.
But
I decided, yeah.
I was just gonna. Sorry, I just there's
No, that's
this one
okay.
thing that I just remembered that I wanted to ask you, and before I forget,
What's that? No, it's
like you
fine.
say that you can read people's energies, right?
I am an empath. I pick up other people's energies even when I don't want to. A lot of times, I am
You
very
see colors,
sensitive.
or how does that work?
No, so if you sat down next to me, or even, it's more if you're right next to me, I can feel who you've been around, what's going on. I'm a psychic and I can tell kind of what you're thinking, what's going on. I'm that intuitive.
Hmm.
And it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of scary. I have to really
It's
be
kind of
careful.
scary.
It is, because I know stuff. Sometimes I don't want to flip it now.
So when did you
But
find that out, though? When did you find that out for
you
yourself?
know what? It's so crazy. I don't even know if I should get into this, but
Oh,
yeah,
you're
I
definitely getting into this now. You brought it up. You're definitely getting into it.
I started doing the show. I'm going on my third year on my podcast, High Road to Humanity. And I had written my book. My book, I've been out for several years, and I had gone on other people's podcasts, just like I'm doing yours tonight. Started my own, really, really meditated a lot, really enhanced my abilities. And then I would start to pick up information from people around me. And I'd say, who were you? Like my husband, I would say, you've been around somebody today with long dark hair. And he'd just look at me and say, no, but I was picking up some chick with long dark hair
Hmm.
around my husband at the time. So that was my first, to be really straight with you, because I was around this person all the time, and I was connected. So I was picking up the vibe. And this happened maybe, oh gosh, over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to realize that the more I had meditated, the more I'm connected. And now I have to really pay attention, because I pick up the energy of other people very easily, not wanting to. Okay. So I've learned how to protect myself. I've learned boundaries. And, being psychic is great, but sometimes it's not, because sometimes you don't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be tough. So you just
Yeah.
recently, like 3 years, like you just started learning about your psychic abilities, like.
Oh, well, no, I've always been intuitive. But I mean, I really tapped in hard in the last 3 years, really
Yeah.
tapped in hard. Yeah.
So
No, I've been doing
intuitive.
this for a long time. But I think the more you do it, the more, how can I put this? Like when I wrote this book, for example, I was doing real estate, right?
Hmm.
So my focus, Trey, was real estate. And so I wrote this after that fact, and mostly because I wanted people to know that we have the ability to achieve anything we want. And I knew how to do it. And I wanted people to know how to do it too.
Hmm.
Then now I've gotten to the point where I've connected. And so now I'm so connected. It's kind of like we were talking about meditation. The more you meditate, the more you connect, the more you know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, because I'm finding myself doing that for myself. Like the
Yeah.
more that I meditate and connect with that higher source,
Right.
I didn't know that though. Like at the very beginning, like I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that I was having a conversation with, my higher self. Like I didn't know that. I would
Mm-hmm.
hear a
Mm-hmm.
I would hear a voice that wasn't mine, but I thought it was my consciousness or my conscious, right? I thought it was just me, just
Right.
like, and then then it would say things to me that wasn't how I would word it, like how I would say something.
Mm-hmm.
It would just sound different, and it'd be more, um, I don't know how to put it. Like it would, you know, for instance, I went for a run. Was it last week? And I found this amazing meditation spot. Amazing, like on these rocks, and it's looking down on some water and surrounded by trees. It's out in nature, which is a great place to meditate. Um, and I just sit on this rock, and it's kind of like it's on a ledge, so it's scary. Like it's kind of scary for me, right? Like
Okay.
it's high up.
Okay.
So I'm like, feel the fear, do it anyway, kind of thing. All right. So I get up there and I'm sitting on this edge, and I actually take a picture of it in my Instagram feed. Follow me at Downs at T Downs 80. Uh,
Are
shout
you
out.
promoting your?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, shameless plug.
Oh my
Um,
God. I'm gonna
but yeah,
follow you now.
start. I just sit and I close my eyes, and I get in, because I'm in alpha at this point, because I've been running, so I'm in different state of consciousness. And I just simply ask, what is my mission? What am I here to do?
Right.
And the voice says to me, um, calls me, their son, my son, uh, trust us, just trust us. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm just like, well, why is it that, I'm trying so hard, but nothing is happening, speaking in terms of what I've been doing. And
Right.
it's like, you need to trust us more. We have
Mhm.
given you everything you have right now. Why
Mhm.
don't you believe us that we'll give you more? And at that point, I almost fell off the rock. Like I was just like, this is like words of wisdom that I'm not
Mhm.
producing. And like that
Right.
was like the first, I guess, first knowing that I was really speaking to my higher self.
Right.
And I'm
No,
assuming you can do that
that's
like all
cool.
the time.
Yeah, well, there's different things that happen to different people. For me, it was, realizing that I was an empath and understanding what an empath is and how to deal with that energy. I think my biggest aha moment, Trey, was when my dad died like a year ago. I don't know if I ever told you this,
Mm-mm.
but my father died a year ago, June, and he was in New Mexico and I was in Texas, and I had made a reservation to get there to see him before he went. I didn't realize that he was so bad, but they called me, and he was in his late 80s and he had trouble walking. And so my daughter had made it there, and she did the FaceTime thing, and I talked to my father and I told him how much I loved him and what a great dad he was, because I have a great father. And but then I got up, and a few minutes later, I went into the living room and I sat down on the couch, and a little time passed and I looked up and I saw him, except he was young, and he had on like jeans and his sleeves were rolled up on his shirt, and he did the wave like, see you later. And that was it. But man, that was my aha moment. God let me see.
Yeah.
I've never gotten to see since.
Yeah.
I had never seen before. I felt, because I'm an empath, I feel, I hear like you do. I know, when people come to me, because I help people go to the light. And that was another thing that happened once I got more in tune. I help people go to the light that are stuck. They come to me. You become more light. But my dad seeing was such a blessing. It changed my life. Okay.
Mm.
Seeing my dad young, because his legs, he couldn't hardly walk, and there he was, man, he looked great. He was like young, and he was
He's like,
like
peace out. I'm out.
fine.
I'm out.
Yeah, he had this big smile on his face, and he wanted to let me know he was good to go. And so that was the biggest blessing, that one of the biggest blessings I think that God has ever given me and changed me
Wow.
tremendously.
That
Mm-hmm.
is just amazing. I think,
Yeah.
well, I was doing a meditation, another aha moment for me. I was doing a meditation, and it was where who was I doing it with? where you walk down some steps, you go into this place and you can call on someone who's passed and they give you a gift. And I've never done that before. And it was like, you can kind of get back with them um, and just have a conversation with them. It was actually with Terry Ann Russell.
Oh, okay.
And you know her. And it was with my grandfather. And basically, it was before I knew any of this, right? Like, so I'm just having a nice time meditating. And it was like, she walked me through the meditation and I get to this point where I'm having a conversation, not a conversation, but like, you're not speaking with your mouth.
Right.
And basically he's telling me, you're going to be, you're going to do great things, trust yourself. And he's like, you're going to have to go on your own path. Like at this point in your life, like if you want to achieve what you want to achieve, you got to go on your own path. And she's like, all right, now and she's in the meditation. She's like, all right, now this person's going to give you a gift. And he hands me a knife. Wow. And like one of those old time knives with like I say old time. It's just like one of those knives with like the gold at both ends, and it's wooden, and it's got like the little lip in it where you can pull it out. Just something I recognized from growing up. And he was like, basically gave this knife to me. He was like, you're going to have to create your own path. And I took it as a metaphor of me going, into the jungle, slaying that path and cutting the vines and creating my own path. Mm-hmm. And then 2 or 3 weeks ago, but 2 or 3 weeks go by since then, that meditation. And I'm at the beach. We have a beach house. I don't, my in-laws do. And I'm going down the steps and I see this knife. It looks exactly like the knife that he gave me in this meditation. And I'm like, holy shit.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Where did this, like, what? And it was my father-in-law's knife. And I don't know if he received it from some money or anything, but anyway, it wasn't not my knife. But the point of the story is that I brought this knife with me from this meditation into real life, to the plane, to physical plane. And there's actually a book that I'm trying to find.
That's interesting, Trey. Yeah.
This author, Christina Rasmussen, I think, if you say her name correctly, talks about that, how we can do this, how if we go into these meditative states, that we can bring back or produce these objects. And that's what she talks about in these meditative states, where if you go into, like, let's say you have something with your father and like you're in this meditative state and you're having a conversation and you go through the meditation, like if he either gives you a gift or you pinpoint something in that meditation, like you'll see it pop up in your reality. And this is what happens.
That's really interesting. That's interesting.
But you have to pay attention to it. Like I just had another meditation with my great grandmother, and she hands me a comb, and I don't know, she's a funny person. So I don't know if she's trying to say that I have long hair now and I need to comb my hair, but for the last 2 weeks, I've been like, just looking for this comb. I know it's going to pop up. Like,
she's going to do it.
It's like one of them old classic black combs.
Yeah. Have you heard of HemiSync?
Yeah.
Yes, I had just had this week on High Road to Humanity, I had Suzanne Giesman on my show. She's that U.S. Navy commander, and she became a medium. And she has on her website, and she's really big, we talked about it on HemiSync, and it's where they, you get this like recording. I'm thinking about doing it, actually. You should do it too. I think it would be awesome. And I have to check into a little bit further, but you get the CD or whatever, and the music is set, because I'm really into music and into healing with sound. I really believe the healing power of sound. And so they say if you do this HemiSync thing, there's different sounds that they've done so that your right and your left brain become more balanced, and that you're able to go into a deeper meditative state. And so it's something you should look into, and I think I'm going to do it too.
No, I love HemiSync. So you're right on. It balances both hemispheres. So I think they try to.
Have you done it?
I have. So what the science behind it is, Robert Monroe was doing that. So Robert Monroe is the one that basically, and Thomas Campbell is the one, I don't know if he's a physicist, and they did a lot of work with the HemiSync. So I think, is it theta or delta? where you change like you get to the
I
8
don't know
hertz.
where I don't know.
Well, so your brain states are of consciousness is beta, alpha, theta,
Right.
delta, gamma. Anyway, one of those higher consciousnesses is 8 hertz. And so if they play 100 something hertz in your left ear or right ear, and then play the difference of that, somehow the both hemispheres can cancel each other out, and then your brain will go straight to 8 hertz. So if it's like 100 hertz, it's 100 hertz in the right, and then 108 hertz in your left, and then because of the 100 hertz they cancel each other out, and then somehow your brain picks up on that, and then now you're
Is
functioning
that
at
when you're
8 hertz.
balanced?
Yeah,
So
you're
then you're
balanced at 8 hertz. I'm not a physicist, I'm not a sound technician. I butchered that explanation, but
No,
it's
that's fine. But
essentially,
I'm thinking about it, man. I
you
think it's
should
cool.
definitely do it.
I
You
think
should
it's
definitely
cool.
do it.
I don't know, it's kind of scary. You
Why?
know, I'm pretty well, I'll tell you why. You want to tell stories? I'll tell you why. I've always had really high energy. So I'm a high energy person. Didn't know for a long time
What
that
do
I
you mean you
was an
didn't
empath.
know? I could have a conversation 5 minutes. I
Well,
know
I
you
mean,
got
I
high
didn't know
energy.
I was an empath. Like I didn't put a name or label. I've always known I'm intuitive, but I didn't pick up, man, I pick up energy like no other. But the crazy thing is years ago, and this has been a long time. Now I wear an Apple Watch, right?
Mhm.
And I have a nice Movado that I wear, but I can't wear just a regular cheap watch because they stop.
Hmm. They
Isn't that
stop.
crazy?
Like how
They
long?
stop.
Like
I,
how long
it's
before,
not
after
very
you put them on?
long and they stop. Yeah. I stop clocks. I don't, yeah. I've been able, and I don't like, you got to watch with your intention because we're energy. You got to remember that. And that's what I talk about in this book. We are energy. Okay. And so we have all these abilities that we don't even use, but we
Mhm.
do have that ability. We have our energy and we have our intention, just like you manifesting the knife, for example. It's a manifestation of that energy. Same kind of thing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
almost shit myself when I did that, dude. Like when I'm
Well, thanks,
serious. Like
Trey.
I seriously, like when I saw, all right, so I didn't
What?
think anything of it, right? Like so when I saw it, I thought that was weird, that I was like, oh, that's
Well, did you
interesting.
say anything to like your father-in-law? Like, hey,
Not really. I mean, I didn't want to put that out there. I want to,
yeah.
hey, guess what? I was meditating, and
I saw that knife.
yeah, I saw that knife
Mhm,
from meditation. Now I
mhm.
brought it into my reality. I think you would be
Yeah.
like, what the hell is wrong with this boy? Um, but like I
Well,
said, I was reading this book, and she was talking about meditative states and that we can do that. And I guess that was to solidify, however you say that. It's
solidify.
solidified that we can do that. And that was like, oh shit, like this stuff's real. Like, I mean, I've always been curious about it,
Well,
but
I
like,
haven't done that, but you've done it. So now I'm like, really, that's really awesome. I
go
think
to
it's
Terry
cool.
Ann Russell's YouTube and go to her meditate. She has guided meditations, and there's
She
one.
hasn't been on my show. I haven't had her on my show yet.
Well,
I
you
need
got to get
to.
her on the show.
I need to.
Reach
I
out
know.
to Sarah.
Well, Sarah, yeah, she's told me, I'm so booked. She's like, Nancy, you're so booked. I'm like, yeah. So I got to do 2 shows a week now.
Well,
I
just do her
got
meditation and reach out to her, or something. You know what I mean? Or at
check
least
out her
try to check out her
meditation. Yeah.
meditation. Yeah. And then
All
just
right,
do
I
the
will.
guided meditation about the
I
one
will.
meeting your loved one on the other side. That'd be a great one for you and your dad to see what,
Mhm.
what conversation you had. Because
I think he's one of my spirit guides because he's around all the time. And now when I meditate, he comes through and he's like, dude, he tells me stuff like he would like, oh, it's so funny, just like he would have, like a long time ago. What like he did the thumbs up, like I was meditating this morning. See, now you're getting me to talk about my meditations here, Trey.
why
So I'm
not? We talk about
meditating this
everything else.
morning.
Let's go.
Well,
Let's talk
yeah,
about some
I know.
meditation.
So I'm meditating, and my dad came through, and he does, and I know it's him because of how he says things to me. Because you know who it is. He's like, he gives me the thumbs up kind of thing. And that's something my dad always did. And so, anyway, plus you can feel, it's your dad when he's around. My sister passed too. She was my older sister, and I have 3 sisters. And so she's around too, and I feel her around. And she was a singer and she played piano. So I know if there's a certain song that comes on or something, I know she's around. That's how I know
That's
she's
awesome.
around. Mhm.
I think what's really cool is, like, I used to always think that they were just I don't know. I never really believed that the universe was trying to tell me anything like that. You know what I mean? Like when certain things that would happen, like a song would come on. And it's like, what's really weird is like lately every time I check the clock, it's
Is it 11:11?
4:44. It's
Oh,
4:44.
4:44.
Yeah.
What are fours? Wait a minute. Did you look at my book on my numbers? What are fours?
I don't know.
I'm into numbers. I do a whole I don't know if I gave you all the stuff for the
It's
numbers.
Always
but
444.
So you need to look up your numerology. I'm really into numbers. And so start paying attention and then look up 444s, Google it. Because I see 1111 all the time. It I used to see 23. That was my number. Now
That's
I
my
see
number.
11.
That was my baseball number.
Yeah, it used to be my number, 23. And both my kids were born on the 23rd. Weird. Yeah, strange stuff. And then my kids' numbers were like 23 too, because it was weird. And now, yeah, but now it's 11:11. 44:44. What's it? You got to Google you.
I got to Google it. 4:44.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Like I'll get up in the morning and it's 4:44, and I'll check my phone in the afternoon. 4:44.
Yeah, but it means something, Trey. It's Google telling you something. I know. I will.
I'll run a mile, or I'll run 4 miles. One time I ran 4 miles, and the time that it took me was 44 minutes and 4 minutes, or 4.
All right,
4
you
seconds,
ready?
excuse me. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna read this to you. 444 is a number of protection and encouragement.
Oh.
It is a sign that you are currently following the right path.
No.
Oh my God, pay attention. If you see the number 444 repeatedly, it's often your angel giving you a sign that they are with you.
Oh.
The sign is reminding you to feel confident and supporting you in this knowledge.
That's what the knife, the path.
See?
Oh my, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, no, see, mine is 11:11. So let's just go with this. 11:11. Let's just see what it says. There's always so much stuff. I mean, it's like such a crazy. Let's see.
11:11.
So you want to some numerologists and the New Age philosophies believe that events linked to the time 11:11 appear more often than can be explained by chance or coincidence, and it's an example of synchronicity. Some people claim that seeing 11:11 on a clock is an auspicious sign. Others claim that 11:11 signals a spirit presence.
Your dad.
It's just, I see it all.
Here's the problem with your clocks in your house. It's always 11:11 because they keep dying. Maybe it's 11:11 because it stopped at 11:11.
Come on. Haven't you ever used your energy and looked at a light and it went out? Have you ever done it?
No.
I have.
I just thought it was a bad cheap bulb that I bought from Ace Hardware.
See, we're way more powerful than what you realize we are.
I agree.
We just need to learn how to use our energy. And that's why here we are. That's why I wrote this
Wake
book.
up.
Well, and I'm starting these classes, and I was telling you about it when I first started talking to you. I'm starting classes on intuitive business practices. And I'll tell you why. I has always been a very successful real estate broker. I mean, I've been doing my spiritual stuff for the last 10 years, so I don't do as much real estate as I used to because I'm really concentrating on this stuff now. But I know a lot as far as how to help people increase their business and how to use this stuff in their business. And so that's my big focus right now, is to really help people use it in their like everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like my big thing.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know because I don't know, but I don't know if people use that in business.
Well, I do.
Yeah. How do you use that in business? How do you use it in business?
If I've got a really important meeting to go to, I definitely say a prayer before I go in that meeting. Or if I've got a phone call to make, I say, let this phone call go, positive for all parties involved, or whatever the intention is. There's a lot you can do. That's all I'm going to tell you now. You're going to have to take the class. But
what'd you say before the podcast? What'd you say before the interview?
I'm sorry.
What'd you say before this interview?
What do you mean?
Did you say any, did you say
What?
anything? I mean, this is an important interview. This is a game
This is
changing interview.
huge.
What
This is
what'd you say? Did you say a
huge.
prayer before coming on here?
You know what I say, and gosh, now you're making me share all my secrets with you.
I'm
What
just
I
saying.
say, no, I'm going to tell you before all my podcasts and that I do in this one too. I always say, God, give me the words that I need to say to help those out there and let the people who need to hear it hear it.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah,
That is, I'm gonna have to start doing that.
that's what I
I
say.
think I did start doing that after talking to you. I think it was you who guilted me into doing it. You were like, well, you don't do that? Like, you don't. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I light a white candle and I pray and I say, Lord, give me the words, because the words come from above, the divine God, source, however you want to. I say God. That's where the words come from.
Yeah. What about writing that book? Did you feel like that it was coming from a different source? God?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know how I knew? It was really crazy. I would write something and then I'd write the same thing again. And then wait a minute, I already wrote that. So then I knew it wasn't coming from me. It was coming from somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Like what? Yeah. Like, all right. So this is a pretty interesting book. Do you have a favorite chapter in this book? That is just
I like the one on faith. I like faith because faith is a big deal. And I like being grateful. I do a chapter on being grateful. I think it's important to be grateful,
Yeah, no, I think it's important, very important.
Yeah, there's a lot of different, I talk about meditation in this book. I talk about essential oils because I'm really big on essential oils because I believe they're healing. I do a chapter on water because I believe water is healing. I do stuff on sound. I could write a whole book on sound. And music. Well, because why do we all love music? Think about it. Where all these people go to a concert, stand out there, watch somebody.
Yeah, the vibrations, right? Like the vibrations, the frequency, getting that energy up.
Yeah. See, and I've always been a rock and roller, so
there you go.
I'm from Detroit. Yeah. So anyway,
it's about you now. You're in Albuquerque.
No, I'm in New Mexico. I've been in New Mexico. Yeah, I have been in New Mexico native for probably 20 years.
Nice. What's the weather like there now?
It's cold right now. It snowed. Yeah. It was like 60 degrees. And then the next thing you know, it was like 20 some degrees and it snowed. But then in New Mexico, the sun comes out and then it melts like by noon. And so then you're back to normalcy. Yeah. But we have 4 seasons here. We do.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never been there. I want to travel that way. It's cold here now. It's
where you're in
Baltimore.
Baltimore, Maryland. That's right. How is that there? Cold?
It's cool. I mean, it's cold right now. I mean, it was cold this morning. I think it's been fluctuating. So it's been, since Thanksgiving, it was unreasonably hot, I think, for Thanksgiving. But it's just been weird, just at times. We had frost this morning, but it's just unseasonably warm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the COVID? What's happening? See, we're on lockdown. I got the COVID hair. See my COVID hair?
The COVID hair. I've had
COVID hair, man. Because I can't get in because they shut us down.
How long have you been shut down?
Well, they were supposedly opened up. We're all still in red, believe it or not. Okay, so the governor has a map and all the counties are in red except for one, not mine. And so she partially opened, so I can get my hair done, no more than 10 people in the hair salon at a time. And the restaurants are closed other than outside dining and pickup, that type of thing. And so it's kind of difficult. We were shut down completely for 2 weeks. And then we kind of just opened back up like 2 days ago. So, yeah.
Where are we? I think we haven't fully shut down. I think we're at I think outdoor dining, but 50% for other things. I don't know. I don't know. I hope we don't shut down completely. My kids actually, so the Archdiocese where we're at, basically, they did shut down school. I know all the public schools are online, but we have been going in person. They've been doing a great job where we're at. And we had a positive case at our school. So I think we shut down for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then today was the first day back. But I'll tell you right now, these kids need to be in school, like
I know.
100%,
I
100%.
know.
My kids are zombies when they're in front of that laptop all day.
I hear you.
Zombies.
How old are they again, Trey?
10 and 8. And then my youngest is going to be 2 this month, which I cannot believe. 2.
Wow. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, but
it's hard on the kids. It's hard on the adults, man. It's hard on the kids. You know, both of my daughters have kids. I have grandkids, and they're dealing with the same thing.
Sure.
They're, you know, some weeks the kids go to school, some weeks they don't. They're at home. Then when they're at home, you know, then it's like they worry, okay, am I going to have enough internet? Because they're both on Zoom at the same time. You know, it's like crazy. I don't know.
Do they live in the same state?
No, my kids are in Michigan, so I'll head up there for the holidays.
Okay, cool. Michigan, I feel like it's so cold up there right now.
Yeah, right?
So cold up there.
That's why I like it in New Mexico. I'm from Ohio and Michigan.
I don't know how you did winters up there.
Yeah, it was awful. And
brutal.
So I moved to New Mexico a long time ago. And so, yeah, I would never go back to cold weather.
So the last 10 years you focused on spirituality.
Yes.
How is that going? Like the podcast has been, 3 years old?
Oh my God. You know what? I'm so blessed. I'm just so darn blessed. I love my show. I live for High Road to Humanity. It's going great. I have so many people that say, hey, Nan's going to be on your show. And they're like, cool, really interesting, you know, educated, you know, people who really know their stuff. And the coolest thing about High Road to Humanity is that God has let me learn. I told you this, I think already, so much. Each show, I learn so much. It's like at this point, you know, God, I'm like, okay, who's on my show next week? And then it's like, it's the perfect thing that I needed to learn, you know? So God sends me this person and then I'm like, okay.
How many episodes are you up to now?
75.
75. Look at you.
75. I think it says something like that.
25 short of a dollar.
Yeah. See, they don't call me 50 Cent, but anyway, I love it. It's so much fun. And so now I'm going to start doing 2. And then I'm also doing some videos of just stuff that I want people to know. Like I did a whole 45 minutes on empaths last week. And because there's a lot of empaths out there and they don't know what to do. Because they don't know, like when we go out into a crowd, why do they, you know, get ill or why do they feel drained or, you know, how can they kind of protect themselves? So, yeah, so I'm doing stuff like that and just having so much fun doing High Road to Humanity. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did it start out as like a spiritual type of podcast?
Yeah.
Or is it more so like business related?
No, spiritual.
Spiritual out the gate?
Yeah.
See, mine's different because mine, I didn't know where I wanted to go. It's so weird. I didn't know where I wanted to. I knew that I wanted to do a podcast, and I just essentially was like, all right, we'll do business. I'll do, you know, whatever, or, you know, we'll talk about, you know, dude stuff. And then I think it was Sarah. She just from out of nowhere sent me like a list of people, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to have, you know, because at that time I was not open to higher consciousness or spirituality really. And I think it was actually who was it? I think it was a psychologist, and it was about oh man, I can't remember who it is now, but anyway, it got me really curious about it. And it was
Sarah's a little gift from God, isn't she?
Goodness gracious. Sarah Scarlett is one of the best human beings on this earth.
I know. I know. She is.
She has helped me in so many different ways. She doesn't even know, you know, like she is given me so much material on her own dime and just helping me out spiritually, just giving me guests and connecting me with people like yourself and just guiding me, you know, like, and I didn't know that I needed it, you know, it just like popped out of nowhere, an email from Sarah Scarlett And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to pursue that. And then
She
I
always
did.
knows, doesn't she?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. And then it was like,
I know.
and then it was like this awakening. And I was like, I can't get enough. And like, so I'd email Sarah and be like, who else do you got? Like, come on. I
Well,
need
you
some
know,
more.
yeah, she emailed me today. I don't know if I should say, I could say this, I guess. And she said, I'm going to be on a podcast because I, you know, kind of stopped doing podcasts for a while, but now I'm back on doing everybody's podcast. So yeah. And so she's like, you're going to be on I'm going to be on December 21st. I'm going to be on in India.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see. We're going to
India.
talk to them about wake up.
Wake up, India.
I'm going to wake them up in India.
But aren't they the first ones to be woken up? Like,
well, that's why I'm so excited. I'm like, dude, really?
You're gonna be, where have you been for centuries? We've been trying to teach you.
I know they've been trying, but yeah. So that's gonna be my new. Yeah. What do you think about that one, Trey?
We're finally, you know, they're gonna be like, we're finally glad that you've awakened. What are you gonna teach us?
Like the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl is gonna talk. Wake up
Hello.
to us.
And I'm probably gonna catch shit about this.
You and me both.
My wife does she does like for her, she's a nurse, so she does like this because of COVID. She does like a call center from home just for extra cash, and I mess with her all the time. I sound like, you know, I do the accent. Hello, this is the hospital. What do you need? Oh no, that does not sound like COVID. No, you know. And I mess with her about that, and she's like, stop it right now. Stop it. I'm just like, that's like the only accent I can do. That's the only accent. And the reason why I can do it is because I used to watch The Simpsons all the time.
Oh my gosh.
You know, just from that Quickie Mart. You know what I mean? Like I used to do that all the time.
The guy at the Quickie Mart.
Yes.
I love it.
Hello. It's the only reason. It's so bad. Like I hate that I can do it. Like I don't want to do it, but it's the only thing I can do.
Well,
I'm sorry, India.
No, that was funny.
Mad.
That was really funny.
Don't get mad.
I love people from India. They're so nice.
Yeah.
They are so nice. Yeah.
They are. Well, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like India, they're just so much more advanced. I mean, they can be more advanced than us, I think,
there's just so many people. Too. They just have too many people.
Yeah. I mean, but
I think
the history there, right? Like the philosophy there is just so pure. Like, I mean, you think about all the literature and the mystical texts that came out of there. I mean, they've been doing meditation, yoga for centuries.
I know. So I figure they must be pretty bored if they want Nancy to come. I was just teasing.
Or they need some Nancy Yearout.
They need some motivation, man.
Slumber that they're in. They need you to come.
Oh, I think they probably do actually. Maybe a different.
Wake up Dubai. That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, it's a different. You know, I made that mistake. You brought up Dubai. Oh my God, you get me crying. So on my Facebook page, don't ask me why I did this, but I just thought maybe I should invite more people because I have 5,000 Facebook followers and I've got a public page, but I just invited a bunch of people from Dubai. So I have a lot of friends from Dubai on my Facebook.
Not after they hear this interview.
Okay.
Nancy,
you're out. What else do you want to know?
Waking Up Dubai. That's our new podcast. Wake Up Dubai.
Right? Wake up Dubai.
Wake up. We're going to teach you some new stuff.
Wake West up Coast, Vietnam. Remember?
West Coast philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think your podcast is great. I think you do a great job. Like you're better than I am. Like your marketing, and your content and the production. Like I think you do a really great job.
Thank you.
What is your goal? Like what do you want to? What are your aspirations for that?
Man, I want the whole world to wake up, get their consciousness. Yeah, this is really a big deal. You know, you and I joke around a lot, but honestly, I'm a messenger here, and I'm a messenger from God. And God wants us to start paying attention. And what's really important. And it's not stuff, it's people. And it's what's inside, not what's on the outside. And so it's really important for me to get the message out because this isn't it. We're souls in these bodies, and we're down here and we're learning. And I guess I want to educate people a little bit. We're learning. We're here to learn. Nobody's perfect. Quit judging each other, be a little kinder. Where's the humility? So that's my goal, is to get back to some of that, get back to the kindness, the compassion, the humility. I'm going to be that voice. When other people are saying raunchy things, I'm going to say, no, that's not appropriate. Let's not do that anymore. Let's get back to basics. So I have a huge message for humanity, and it is to wake up, and it is to start paying attention, because what we do here matters, Trey.
Yeah.
What we do here matters.
I agree.
Yeah. So there you have it in a nutshell. Yeah. Kind of deep, huh?
Yeah, no, it's very deep. Did you always have that bravery to speak that truth?
I was like everybody else. I was chasing that almighty dollar, and did I have the nicest car, and did I have the biggest house, and did I look the best? And it took me a long time to get past the ego and realize what was really important in life. I wish I would have learned it earlier. So I'm here to help maybe people who are a little younger than me figure it out a little quicker than I did. But no, it took me time, lessons every day. You learn a lesson every day. You can either choose to learn it or you're not, or you can repeat it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
I feel like that you have the choice to learn the lesson, but you have choice to, like you said, you have a choice to show up in the moment the way that you want to. You have choice about who you're going to hate. You have choice about how you're going to choose. So like I was just hearing this today. It's so crazy. Viktor Frankl, right? Like his book, he experienced like hellish environment in concentration camps. And basically he taught, he came up with logotherapy, which is the choice to, you have a choice, whether it doesn't matter if you're in hell or not. You have the choice of how you're going to approach that. Are you going to look at it as, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to not allow them to take that pure essence away from me, and I'm going to show up as this being that is me every day and be the best version of that? Or am I going to lay down, and am I going to be the victim? Like you have that choice. And I can never put myself in that situation. Like I could never say, I don't have that experience. That was a hellish experience, but somebody who went through that experience came out with that philosophy of logotherapy and choosing how you show up in a moment. And I take a lot of stock in that, and I can apply that, to my life every moment, like, how do I want to show up for this interview with Nancy? Like, do I want to show up joyous, loving, or do I want to do I want to show up, in a pissed off mood? Like, or do I want to go to work as the victim of saying, I hate my job, this is not, it doesn't make me happy. But at the basic level is that you chose to be there. Like you're there because all the decisions in your life have led you there.
Yeah.
And until you can take that responsibility, until you can be accountable for all your actions, like you're giving others your choices. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right. You're giving them the power.
Yeah.
You're giving them your power. Yeah. It takes, we're always learning. I look at this as, we're here. None of us are perfect. We're all learning. That my thing is, if you don't learn it the first time, the universe is going to put it in front of you again until you get it, because that's what we're here for, is to learn these lessons. And if I can make somebody's life a little bit easier, or maybe expand the way they think or look at things a little differently, then maybe I help somebody. God, if I could get somebody to change the way they are and, I don't know, get their lessons so that they make it in this life. And it really makes a difference, because we're all here and we're all souls and we're elevating. And the way I understand this is we're all at a certain, because I've had a lot of physicists on my show too. Okay. And we're all at this energy level, right? And so God has created us and we're here, but we have to get our energy level high enough to be absorbed back up into heaven to be with him. Because if our energy level is too low, then we got to keep coming down here and repeating it until our vibration is high enough to be absorbed back up. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does make sense. Again, it comes back to
energy.
To energy. And even though you might be, I mean, look at the collective energy going on right now, it's pretty chaotic, but that's why it starts with us, right? This is why you read books like Wake Up, right? Like read about your energy and try to change one person at a time. I think you're doing that. I think the podcast is definitely that vehicle, that platform. I think the book, I think, your mission is a solid one.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You too, Trey.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, how do we weave this interview into, like, we go joke around, then we're serious, and we joke around, then we're serious.
Well, I mean, can't be too serious.
I know, right? But I mean, we've had we figured out what 444 means, which is I'm excited about that. Like,
cool.
That's awesome.
I'm into numbers, man. Pay attention. Like, you got to. Okay,
you're a real estate broker, so you got to be about numbers.
Well, but that's the whole thing, it kind of changed for me. It changed to where I'd start to look for numbers for signs, confirmation. Like, I would drive down the road and look for my 23 and know that I was on the right path. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nancy,
what?
Where can people find you?
They can go to my website, nancyyearout.com, NancyYearout.com. And you can check out my shows. And I've got my new classes coming up, which is going to be awesome.
Sounds like it.
It is. It's like awesome. The coolest thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot of stuff. And this is really going to be a cool thing. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, check out my
social media.
Yeah, you can find me, Nancy Yearout, author.
That's awesome. And don't forget to pick the book up, Wake Up. The Universe is Speaking to You by Nancy Yearout, an amazing guest, an amazing author, amazing podcast host. Nancy, thank you so much for joining.
Trey, thank you. You're such a cool guy. I'll have to have you back on the show.